Imagine a bird that flies with its lower beak permanently slicing through the water, hunting by touch in the dead of night. Now imagine that same bird is running out of places to raise its young. It's a moonlit night on a wide, sandy riverbank in Africa. The air is quiet, broken only by the soft rush of water. Then a strange silhouette appears, a bird with a wingspan like a tern, but with a beak that seems broken, its lower half jutting out much longer than the top. This is the African skimmer, and it's beginning its hunt. It flies low, that extraordinary lower beak cutting a fine groove in the water's surface. The moment it touches a fish, the beak snaps shut in a reflex faster than the blink of an eye. This is one of the most specialized hunters in the avian world. But its incredible feeding strategy is now being betrayed by its most basic need, a safe place to nest. Because the very shorelines it depends on for breeding are disappearing, transforming, or becoming hostile right under its feet. To understand why this bird is in trouble, you first have to understand its perfect and perfectly fragile world. The African skimmer doesn't build a nest in a tree or a burrow. It doesn't gather twigs or moss. Its nest is a simple, shallow scrape in the sand, often on an exposed river island or a barren sandbar. This seems like a vulnerability, but for millennia, it was a brilliant strategy. These open, sparse areas were safe from predators like monitor lizards and genets. The lack of vegetation meant parents had a clear line of sight to spot danger. And the isolation of these mid-river islands kept their eggs and chicks protected. It was a perfect, if minimalist, cradle, but that cradle is now rocking violently. The first and most direct threat comes from the water itself. The skimmer is a creature of dynamic river systems. It relies on the seasonal ebb and flow of water to create and maintain these bare sandbars. But across Africa, rivers are being tamed. Dams are built for hydropower and irrigation. They stabilize water levels downstream, which sounds like a good thing, but for the skimmer, it's a disaster. A stabilized river doesn't scour away vegetation during floods. Without that natural cleansing, shrubs and grasses quickly colonize the sandbars. What was once a perfect, open nursery becomes a tangled thicket, providing cover for predators and making it useless for the skimmers. They need bare sand, and they're getting overgrown patches of land. Then there's the problem of timing. Dams release water based on human energy needs, not natural seasonal rains. A sandbar that should be high, dry, and safe for nesting in the dry season can be suddenly and unexpectedly flooded by a dam release, washing away every egg and chick in a single, devastating wave. The birds have no way of predicting this. Their internal calendar, tuned to thousands of years of natural cycles, is now completely wrong. But the water isn't the only thing changing. The shorelines are getting busier. As human populations grow, riverbanks become hubs of activity. Cattle come to drink, trampling the delicate scrapes that hold the eggs. Fishermen land their boats, often without ever seeing the perfectly camouflaged eggs nestled in the sand. And perhaps most disturbingly, off-road vehicles and recreational tourists are discovering these once remote beaches. A single joyride along a sandbar can destroy dozens of nests in minutes. The skimmer's greatest defense, camouflage, is useless against a truck tire. So the birds are caught in a vice. On one side, not enough water movement to create their habitat. On the other, too much human disturbance destroying the habitat they have left. Their populations are becoming fragmented, isolated on smaller and smaller patches of sand. And when a local colony fails, there are often no new birds to recolonize the area. They are being quietly erased, one river system at a time. But this story isn't over. In a few key places, people have noticed the silent crisis of the skimmer and have decided to act. Conservation groups are now working to manually clear vegetation from critical sandbars, using rakes and hands to recreate the conditions the rivers no longer provide. They erect simple signs to alert boaters and fishermen to nesting areas. In some cases, they've even started using predator-proof fencing to encircle small colonies, giving the chicks a fighting chance to fledge. These are small, labor-intensive actions, but they are making a difference. They are a testament to the idea that we can learn the specific needs of a species and intervene, not to control it, but to give it back the space it needs to survive. The African skimmer may never be a common bird. Its lifestyle is too specialized, its requirements too precise. But it doesn't have to vanish. Its future now hinges on a simple question: can we learn to share the shoreline? Can we manage our rivers in a way that leaves room for a bird that fishes by moonlight and raises its young on bare sand? The fate of this extraordinary creature is a mirror. It reflects the health of Africa's great river systems. If the skimmer thrives, it means the rivers are flowing naturally, the sandbars are clean, and the wild spaces are still intact. Its survival is not just about saving one bird. It's about preserving the dynamic, untamed heartbeat of the rivers themselves. Which other river-dwelling species do you think is most vulnerable to changing water levels? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Rare Species to explore more stories from the edge of extinction.